Welcome to Kiska brand Bajega, Marketing All Stars. This is where we chat with some of the brightest minds from the business world, and you get to witness an epic conversation on everything branding and marketing. Today, in the Legacy Lounge, we talk about one of the world's leading digital travel companies, Booking.com. Joining us is Mr. Santosh Kumar, the country head of the Indian subcontinent and Indonesia at Booking.com. Hi Santosh, welcome to Kiska brand Bajega, Marketing All Stars.
Hi Jennifer, lovely to be here. Thank you for having me.
Lovely. So Santosh, with your very rich background spread across engineering, consulting, leadership, really in the travel and tech domain, tell us what inspired you really to join Booking.com?
Look, my career has been anything but a straight line. Back in the day, I'm an engineer by education, and I got my master's from Carnegie Mellon. And after that, I was, by sort of default, I entered the consulting industry. And I spent a lot of years in the United States working across sectors like financial services, healthcare, technology. And it was really a process of doing a lot of soul searching and trying to determine where my interests lay. During that period of time, I traveled extensively. I was doing roughly about 200 to 250 days a year on the road for many years.
Okay.
And I think that's where the travel bug probably bit me. I've always been a very big believer in India, and therefore I chose to come back in 2010, and I went to study at the ISB. After that, I got into American Express in a travel role. I worked in the corporate travel industry for about a decade. And then, Booking.com came calling, and I think it was a really interesting inflection point that the online travel industry was going through a couple of years ago. And it was really a no-brainer for me, at that point to kind of take on this role, because there are a couple of really dynamic regions in India and Indonesia that I'm getting to work on in terms of some really interesting problems and opportunities at the same time.
Lovely. I think very well said. I think once the travel bug gets onto you, it's very hard to leave, And I think you spoke about developments in the entire travel space. And now, with technology really coming in, travel and tech essentially go hand in hand, right? So how do you think Booking.com is leveraging these technologies really? And are there any success stories or learnings really from the tech space that you'd like to talk about?
Look, Jennifer, being a digital travel platform, for us, it's super important that we continuously innovate and we continue to sharpen our technology when it comes to our travelers and our partners. And everything that we're seeing with the especially the AI and the ML space of late, right? Generative AI is, of course, a very sexy new trend that has emerged.
Yeah.
Having said that, we've been using AI and ML now for roughly more than a decade, and we use it in many parts of our operations already to very good effect, I would say. For instance, we've been, when you think about our platform today, we have roughly 29 million listings globally.
Okay.
And that's offered in 45 languages. And AI plays a massive role behind that, because you can imagine the amount of content that goes into it. AI has been used very successfully in terms of language modeling in that space over the years. We use it in our content teams, for instance, with SEO editing and whatnot. And we're able to really improve the output of our content teams by utilizing AI very nicely. And when we talk about generative AI, we have launched the AI Travel Planner. This is now available in the US and in UK. And hopefully it'll be expanded to other regions as well, including India very soon. And how that works is we've taken what ChatGPT offers. It's partially powered by ChatGPT, but we've added our own Booking.com data into it. We've added our own machine learning into it. And we've integrated that into our website and app. And essentially, it's meant to be a very seamless, natural interface for the consumer, where they can sort of, flip either to the AI screen or to the traditional browsing experience as they see fit. But we believe we're just getting started as far as generative AI is concerned, right? It's very early days. It'll be really interesting to watch how this develops.
Perfect, perfect. So, now talking about continents, coming closer back home to your customers, right, who really make the heart of it all. And customer expectations are always evolving, right? Every day, every month, there is something new. So how do you feel that, how are you all leveraging personalization to help better the user experience at booking.com?
Number one, Indians, when it comes to their booking window, Indians tend to exhibit a very sort of, I would say, peculiar behavior. Okay, Indians are very notoriously last-minute bookers. When I compare that with some of the other geographies, Germans, for instance, book close to roughly about 97 days in advance on average.
Okay.
Japanese book roughly about 57 days in advance.
Okay.
And in India, the blended average between domestic and international bookings is 29 days. So therefore, that presents a very interesting opportunity for travel providers, right? That's number one. Second is Indians are starting to take more frequent trips, shorter trips, but more frequent trips during the course of the year. Earlier, it used to be probably one, maybe two big trips a year, but that behavior has changed, due to the pandemic. The third thing is, sort of food and dietary preferences, right? Indians, we love our food. And more and more what we're discovering is when Indians travel, they're building food and their dietary restrictions and preferences into the itinerary planning. Okay. And then finally, the rise of overseas travel. That's a big one, right? Because we've seen even off late, so many governments in Southeast Asia announcing, ease of visas and whatnot.
Yes.
And we're really seeing a spurt in several destinations like Vietnam, Indonesia, the Middle East, etc. And that will only increase as time goes by, right? So what do we do with these observations? For us as a company, really it comes back to building a product that customers love. So some of the things that we're doing in India, for instance, one is we have to offer a platform that has really reliable and fantastic choice of supply, right? Of accommodation options that are available. Second is we really work on delivering an unparalleled browsing and shopping experience. Okay, with no hidden fees, completely transparent pricing, and really giving the customer a lot of flexibility when they book so that they can go and pay at the hotel, right? And they have that full convenience when they travel. Another thing is building in loyalty. We have a program called Genius. It has different levels. And the great thing about Genius is the instant gratification, okay, which I think works very well for the younger generation. You get instant discounts. You get things like free breakfast, room upgrades, and whatnot. And that's all on the consumer side, right? In addition to that, we are also heavily investing on the supply side. We are a two-sided marketplace. We've got supply, we've got demand. And on the supply side, we work with millions of partners globally. And we are constantly investing to make sure that they have a fantastic, seamless connectivity experience with our platforms. So ultimately, it's about sort of catering to both sides of that marketplace and ensuring that both travelers and partners have a great experience with us.
So Santosh, now reflecting on your career journey, this wonderfully long career journey that you had so far, what is some advice that you'd like to give to professionals out there in the travel field?
Yeah, so look, I think everyone's journey is very unique. And for me personally, reflecting back, I think there are a couple of lessons that really stand out. Number one, be curious and be open to learning. And, today the world is changing rapidly around us. Technology is really sort of getting into every aspect of our lives. And if you don't take the time to learn and understand technology, unfortunately, you might risk getting left out. And I think we all sort of go through phases in our careers, right? And it's important. Sometimes we're dealing with jobs maybe that we don't like or maybe that we love. But it's important to kind of take every context and align it with what works for you. And it's important also to take the opportunities that present themselves to you. In addition to that, I would say the second bit of advice or the second learning that I have is don't be in a hurry. And I think it's really important to kind of think about how you constantly adding to your experience, right? Because experience brings confidence, confidence brings control.
Lovely. I think, being a student for life, just being curious and really taking it one day at a time, I think wonderful, wonderful advice there. Thank you so much, Santosh, for joining us today. It's truly been an inspiring journey, and I think some of the things that you spoke about provided wonderful insights to us.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Thank you so much, and wishing you all the best with Booking.com.
Thank you so much.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We bought an iconic global burger brand, which is Wendy's, right? It is world's second largest global burger brand. We scaled them in about 100 plus locations in 18 months. And this is kind of thrice as fast as any other QSR has globally taken to open first 100 restaurants.
Welcome back to Kiska brand Bajega, Marketing All Stars.
This segment is called The Next Big Thing, and I'm here with the Chief Marketing Officer and Head of Brands of Rebel Foods, Mr. Nishant Kedia. So let's get into it and find out what makes Rebel Foods the next big thing in the Indian business space. Hi Nishant, welcome to Kiska brand Bajega, Marketing All Stars, India's biggest marketing talk show.
Thanks, Akanksha, for having me here in your wonderful office.
Thank you, Nishant. So my very first question is that, tech is one of the fastest moving industries in India. So is food. And Rebel Foods have, combined the two and made something extraordinary. Right from Fasos to Oven Story, we can actually spot hardcore foodies loving all of these brands that you guys have. And even I am one of them. So what is the story behind Rebel Foods and how did it all begin?
Rebel Foods started back more than a decade back as a QSR, which saw white space in wraps and rolls category. It was a big, sizable opportunity where there were not enough good food brands giving high quality products. So Fasos was born there, offering wraps starting out of Pune. Over a period of time, Rebel Foods ventured into multiple food missions and categories, and we developed cloud kitchen model, which is mostly delivery oriented. The second light bulb moment happened. We discovered a consumer insights that consumers associate one brand to one cuisine. Third, during COVID, a lot of small and medium sized food brands, they struggled to survive. Right, they were looking at scaling their brands, or some were starting to build their brands, but they wanted to do that with minimal fixed investments. Rebel Foods offered its operating system, which is not just kitchen space, but kitchen space integrated with tech, supply chain, operations, brand building experience. And we bought multiple partner brands, to name Naturals, Mad Over Donuts, and many more on its platform to scale them. That was a third light bulb moment. The fourth one, happened where I was a part of the journey. We bought an iconic global burger brand, which is Wendy's, right? It is world's second largest global burger brand. We bought them on our platform. We scaled them in about 100 plus locations in 18 months. And this is kind of thrice as fast as any other QSR has globally taken to open first 100 restaurants. That's how Rebel has built.
That's quite inspiring, in fact. So, Nishant, you guys have food for every mood, right? And in fact, all your Rebel food brands are ruling their particular food categories. However, it's not easy to maintain such a wide brand portfolio, right? So how do you shape and serve the different food categories under your innovative setup?
To my mind, there are roughly three parts to this, why Rebel Foods is able to, play in large categories, keep innovating and develop brands. One is that Rebel Foods has developed various IPs, like the operating system we call. It's a mixture of culinary. We have, in-house chefs who make great food, who have culinary experience, and the food can be replicated at large scale and be able to deliver high quality food every time when customer wants. Second leg is more about our operating and cultural DNA, wherein, at Rebel, we put customer first. We have innovation zeal. We want to always do something, which is not being done, which is challenging the status quo. We want to innovate and keep the bar high. The third leg of it, which is, in my experience, consumers are not loyal to brands. They are loyal to experiences. If you have a good experience consistently, you tend to love a brand. and then it becomes a brand love.
Now, Nishant, let's get ready for a rapid fire round, shall we?
Yes.
So you just have to answer in a word or max one sentence. So tell me a new food category that you would want to step into.
Fried chicken. So that's a large category which is untapped by us. And as per our data, it is one of the top 5 search food categories across India.
All right. A celebrity that you would want to collaborate with for your future campaign.
Might sound cliche, but Shah Rukh Khan, not just for his love for food, which is mainly biryani and others, also the charisma he brings, right? And that would probably resonate with most of our marquee brands.
Okay. Select one, influencer marketing or celebrity marketing?
Influencer marketing. In this new age, I think that is the way to go. And connect with people, though celebrity marketing also has its benefits.
All right. This is a little personal. What's your favorite Rebel food brand?
That's a bit difficult for me to answer, but while I love all, but if I have to choose one, I think Oven Story Pizza would be the top of the list for the standout toppings we offer and the differentiated taste which we don't get in any pizza brand. And that's a regular ordering item for me personally.
All right. And according to you, what is the most well-received Rebel Foods campaign?
So recently, I think we have done a data wrap campaign in February. I think that was most well received for its innovative concept, for the love it generated, and the relatability of that campaign to audience. So yeah, I would say data wrap by Fasos.
All right, that was a great rapid fire round. Moving further, you guys have been embracing a groundbreaking idea, which is one kitchen, multiple brands. However, there's this potential risk, Nishant, which is like, all these brands may end up tomorrow, competing with each other. So how do you manage that potential risk while still serving to all your different product categories?
Based on our experiences, all the food missions are typically associated with 1 to 2 cuisines. And, Rebel builds brands largely to lead a particular cuisine, right? So it means when a consumer goes to a food mission, he will or she will have 1 or 2 Rebel specific brands experience. However, at the same time, if we in our operating model, if we tend to invest in a brand, partner with a brand, take a license of a brand, or build couple of brands in the same cuisine, right? We look at customer segments, right? For example, there could be a brand in a biryani segment, which is Behrus, which will target a mass premium to premium segments, or a regular segment which will indulge on weekends. If there is a mass brand like the Biryani Life, right, which will mostly cater to the single serve and group, value segment, right? And there could be something in between. So then we will think about consumer segment and how the brand will play a role in that consumer segment's life, right? And there has to be a divide, and there has to be a space for the brand cross consumer mission independently. Then only we'll pursue it. Otherwise, we'll kind of avoid the conflict.
Correct. So Nishant, Rebel Foods has created a big name for itself, and the future seems very bright for the company. So what are your plans in scaling up the brand in the coming years?
So I would say expansion, we look at 2 ways how we scale. One is completely inorganic, and second is organic. There are roughly 3 parts to inorganic. One is we want to establish our direct to customer access offline. So we will open more Eat Shop smart food courts. You would have experienced some of them in Pune. We want to open more Wendy's offline dine-in outlets. Second, inorganic is a Rebel cloud footprint, right? There's a massive potential given how the demand pools are moving, how customers' preference and needs are moving. There is, a definite white space in getting high quality food across cuisines. So there is a potential to grow 3 to 4 times more in cloud kitchen space. If I think about next decade, that's about Rebel cloud kitchens. And third would be seeding more Wendy's in Rebel clouds. That's how Rebel will grow inorganically over next decade, broadly. In terms of organic expansion, we have to make our brands bigger. We have to get more love, more sale from same kitchen, same brand, and that would be done by 2-pronged strategy. One, we have to launch various food products for their mood, right? There are a lot of white spaces there, which will be seasonal specific offerings, some menu gaps we don't have, and so on and so forth. Second part to organic growth will be building the brand love, building that salience, association, and that will be done largely through uplifting our creativity, creating that personal delight. The brand should naturally blend in part of your life. Whatever brand does or say digitally should, relate to you. That should be shareable. And it shouldn't look like the brand is trying to force upon itself on me. So that's a long journey we have already taken steps into to build brand love.
Thank you so much, Nishant, for chatting with me. I wish you and Rebel Foods nothing but continued success in the future endeavors.
Thanks a lot.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode of Kiska Brand Bajega Marketing All Stars. Until next time, take care and stay inspired.